Hello, mamas, ladies, gentlemen, which I don't think there's any gentlemen watching, but if there is, hello, welcome. I haven't done a video, I feel like, in a little bit. Maybe it's been a couple weeks. Here with Duke. Babes is with Gigi. So I have an appointment in a little bit, so I just wanted to come on and do a video. I had somebody actually ask me, don't mind my hair. If you're like me, I have like OCD about things sticking out like this, and it's probably gonna bug somebody like it's bugging me. So I had somebody ask me that I don't know, through Messenger, why I was doing these videos and why I was doing these, why I was doing like a podcast or whatever. And my response to that is, I'm not doing this to make money, obviously. I'm not doing this to, I don't know, I'm not doing this to to start arguments. I'm not doing this to go back and forth with anybody. I'm simply doing this because I want to share my perspective on things. I want to share my story. I want to share how I went through things, how I'm dealing with things, how I feel about things. And I feel like all of these moms that I see that are what I guess I call like influencers or whatever. Like, I don't want to I don't know how to say this without sounding like somewhat bitchy. So I won't say specific names, but there are some moms out there that are stay-at-home moms that do like YouTube blogging and YouTube videos and stuff like that about like a day in the life of like having kids and this and that, and they have like their hair done and their makeup done, and some of them are like really fit and some of them are really skinny, and they just like look really good, and they have like these beautiful houses, and their houses are so clean and spotless, and they're like organized and stuff like that. And I feel like that's just like, to me, it's unrealistic. And it's just not, to me, that's just not like what reality is. Like, reality to me is this is like, I'm not like hair and makeup done. Like, yes, my makeup is somewhat done. My hair, I just kind of like threw up in a bun. And my house is not like some beautiful, like, this is just your average messy house. It's nothing fancy. It's not some like beautiful house with decorations and that's like spotless and clean and everything. Like, to me, that's reality. And I just want to show other moms out there that like, you don't have to have that. Like, you don't have to have like this beautiful spotless house with beautiful things and have your shit together, pretty much, because it's really hard having a kid. It takes up a lot of your time, and maybe for some people you can find that balance where you're able to get your shit together, where you can exercise and you can have dinner on the table and you can have lunches made and eat and find time for yourself to eat healthy and work out and clean the house and do laundry and do all that stuff. But realistically, I think that's for some people that's very hard. And then also, I think it's also a lot harder when you have postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, or both, or one or the other. And like I said in previous posts and previous episodes on my podcast, is that it's not talked about enough. I recently just joined a group called 2020 Moms, and it is pretty much a group of moms that are just trying to make awareness about postnatal care for postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Over 20% of moms will deal with postpartum depression and or postpartum anxiety after giving birth. And I know that in the state that I live in Maine, if you've seen my other videos, it's not talked about enough. It's not, I don't think there's enough resources out there for people. I felt very alone. I felt like I didn't have resources that I thought that should be around. So I'm trying to do my part in making awareness for that and trying to help other moms feel comfortable about talking and sharing their experiences and not feeling like they have to live like these other moms that are sharing their life being so perfect. And I put that in quotations because I feel like sometimes when, and it may be that they are really perfect in real life, but I feel like a lot of the times when they're making these videos, like they're making the videos when their house is clean and they look their best, and because obviously people don't want to go on camera and video when they don't look that great. But I just want moms to know that, like, it's okay. It's okay to not have your shit together. It's okay to not lose that baby weight. It's okay to have a messy house. It's okay to not have dinner made and have a home-cooked meal every night. It's okay. Whatever you're doing is enough. And I just want moms to feel like they are enough and that they have resources and feel like they have somebody to talk to. When I was in the hospital, I shared that after giving birth to my son that I pretty much somewhat immediately suffered from postpartum depression and anxiety. I think it was just a long, hard process of, giving birth and him being stuck for so long. I was just exhausted and the lack of sleep, and I wanted to just sleep and I couldn't, and I shared, that the two nurses that I had caring for me after I gave birth, they were helpful, but they were not helpful at the same time. I specifically just remember the negatives of them, kind of making me not feel so great, because I remember asking one of them specifically, is this normal that I'm crying like this? Like, is this normal for, like, do you see this a lot? Like, why do I feel like this? Like, do you see, like, is this normal? Do other moms do this? Like, is this gonna go away? And I remember her saying to me, like, oh, in like the 10 years or however long, it was like a lot of years that she'd been working, she said that she'd only seen 3 moms pretty much acting or doing whatever, like what I was doing. And nobody ever used the word postpartum depression to me. Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever said, you have postpartum depression or you have postpartum anxiety. I distinctly remember nobody ever saying that to me. They just made me feel like something was wrong with me. Like, you shouldn't be feeling like this. No other moms I've seen, like, feel like this. They don't sit here and cry after they have their baby and, like, not want their baby in the room and, like, want us to take them to the nursery all the time. Like, they just didn't, I didn't feel like I didn't have resources, and I didn't feel like it was being talked about. I felt alone. And that really sucked. The other nurse, like I said, when they were upping my my sertraline for my depression, which they never called postpartum depression, when they were upping that, and my son was having kind of like this, doing like this little lip quiver thing, and I was like, oh, is he cold? Like, maybe should we put him in clothes, because like the whole time he was pretty much just kind of like wrapped in this like swaddle in the blanket, and I was like, maybe he's cold, like that's why he's maybe doing this like little lip quiver, like he's cold. And she was like, no, it's because of your medication and you're breastfeeding him, like he's having withdrawals. I was like, what? No. I'm like, he's not having withdrawals. I'm like, first of all, I'm like, it's the safest medication. I was told that by the doctors, and they said that like the amount that he's getting, that is being, like, by the time it goes through my system and then goes into my breast milk, and then like what he gets is like so minuscule. They said that that's not true. And then she just made me have even more anxiety and made me feel even more like shit, like I was harming my son and putting him in somewhat of like danger, and just making him miserable in some way. And it was honestly just a miserable experience in a time that I felt like it was supposed to be a happy and joyful experience, and I'm supposed to be loving and bonding with my son, and I'm just miserable. I'm crying. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I just want to sleep. I don't want to feed my baby. I don't want to hold him. I just want to sleep. And then I have people telling me that it's not normal what I'm going through. I need to just like suck it up. Like, this is what's gonna happen. This is what happens when you have a baby. You're not gonna sleep, and da 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 da. And it's just like, those aren't things that I needed or wanted to hear. And like I said, just not enough resources, and not enough people supporting me. And even when I left the hospital, seeing, and then I went back and like seeing a psychiatrist and everything like that, like they tell you, like, you can call this number and talk to somebody, like it's like this postpartum international support group or something like that. It's like a 1-800 number. I mean, honestly, I'm the type of person that I find it better to like, I like to see somebody's face when I'm talking to them. I like to be in, like, I learn best when I am kind of like hands-on, and I like seeing people in person. Talking on the phone, to me, it's almost kind of like awkward, I guess. So I never used that resource. Like, I wanted to go to a group. I wanted to go to a group where I could like interact with people and see other moms. And the only group that was around me was an hour away. And it's like, I have postpartum depression and anxiety. I can barely get myself out of bed, let alone dressed and trying to get my baby out of the house to go to a group that's an hour away. That just caused so much anxiety thinking about even doing that I couldn't get to the group. Like, there's no other groups around me, and there's breastfeeding support groups, there's all these other groups around, but there's nothing for postpartum around me. And I'm like, why is there nothing around me? And like, Portland, which is a big city, is 30 minutes from me, and you would think that they'd have something even in the greater Portland area for postpartum, for support groups, and there's nothing at all. And it just like, it baffles me that there's not anything around for resources. And so that's why I'm doing these videos. I'm trying to make awareness. I'm trying to do as much as I can when I have the chances to try to get resources out there, and try to get something together that's closer for people. and be there for other women who feel like I did. And I felt awkward talking on the phone about things, but maybe other people don't feel like that. And I am comfortable talking with other people to help other people, but it wasn't something that was going to help me talking on the phone. But I put that out there on the oh my God, what am I trying to say? The postpartum depression and anxiety group that's on Facebook, because really that was the only kind of outlet for me that helped me. Is I don't have Facebook. I literally just made a Facebook to use this group, to use these groups, and to use like the marketplace and stuff like that. But the postpartum depression and anxiety support group was really something that helped me, because when I went on there and I saw all of these posts of these other moms feeling like I felt, and some of them feeling worse than I did, and having like worse thoughts than I was having, it sounds crazy, but it made me feel better. Like, there's actually people out there that feel like I do, and now I don't feel like I'm so crazy. And I could relate to some people, like, reading their stories and stuff really helped me, because I was like, oh my God, there's people out there like me. My dog currently, he's just, so, I mean, so yeah, that Facebook outlet really helped me. I would go on there every day and like read through stories, and it may sound bad, but like seeing other people feeling worse than I did honestly made me feel a little bit better, because I was like, I'm not the only one who feels like this, and there are people that actually feel worse than me. Like, I can get through this. And so I put myself out there on that group, and I started doing these videos and this podcast, and the podcast, because it's easier for some moms to listen to than to watch a video like this. And I put myself out there, and I said, if anybody needs to chat, if there are any moms that feel like they are, at their wit's end, or they just need somebody to talk to and they don't have anybody, I'm here. I will talk to you. I don't care what state you're in. I don't care what time it is. You can call me or you can message me, and I will be here for you. Because I don't know how it is in other states, but I know here there's just not enough resources. So I wanted to be able to put myself out there as a resource for somebody to contact me if they needed to, and I could help them or talk to them and try to help them in any way that I could. So that's why, to answer the question, I'm doing these videos and the podcasts. And I just hope to, even if I just help one person, that's all that I will feel accomplished, if I can just help one mom feel better, or help her through a hard time, or just a really low time. If I can just help that one mom, then I did what I needed to do. So if there is anybody, I will put it on here too, that is going through postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, or even if you're not going through that and you're just a mom and you need somebody to talk to, and you don't have anybody, I am putting myself out there as somebody that you can talk to. I don't care what time it is. You can message me, and I will give you my phone number, and you can call me, or you can just email me, Facebook message me, whatever is easiest, text message. I just want to make sure that I am here for somebody, because I know how hard it is, and how it helped me to be able to have somebody to talk to if I needed to. So stay strong, mamas. You got this.